Today I wanted to show off 5 pros and 5 cons that the ZTE Axon 7 has, so let's jump right into it. Let's start off with what the Axon 7 does best. With a 5.5-inch Quad HD AMOLED display, the screen on this device is amazing. Colors are bright, crisp, and they even have some settings to tweak the saturation or color temperature. Where they nailed it is the Gorilla Glass 4 curving down to the chamfered aluminum, giving you a nice feel when swiping left or right on the edges. It's definitely a great experience when watching videos or playing games, so overall the display is top notch. 2. Battery and charging. I was very surprised to see how well the battery performed, even though it only has 3,250 mAh of battery. On normal usage, the device would last 4 to 5 hours of screen on time. Obviously your stats may not match mine, but keep in mind that I have Bluetooth enabled at all times for my Moto 360, GPS for navigational purposes, Wi-Fi, some intense gaming, music streaming, and my brightness turned almost to the max. Plus, with a USB Type-C port implementing Qualcomm's Quick Charge 3.0, I was able to fully charge the device in just under 2 hours. In general, I'd say the battery life is pretty solid, and with Quick Charge 3.0, you shouldn't have a problem using the Axon 7 through an entire day. 3. Speakers and sound. Like I said before, watching videos and playing games on this display is a great experience, but the dual front-facing speakers also add to that enjoyment. They get extremely loud and with very little distortion. Plus, with ZTE's Dolby Atmos feature, basically built-in digital audio processing, you get more of your surround sound experience. Now this won't replace your dedicated Bluetooth speaker, but it's still a great alternative when you're out and about. If you like listening to your media through headphones, ZTE also included a hi-fi 32-bit audio chipset, making anything you listen to sound a little better. 4. Performance. The device is fast and smooth. With a Snapdragon 820 chip and 4GB of RAM, everything opens quickly, rarely stutters, and runs buttery smooth. Heavy 3D gaming wasn't any different with the Adreno 530 GPU, and even though it's not as smooth as the OnePlus 3 because of the 1080p display, the difference is minuscule. Here's some benchmark results to back up my reasoning. 5. Expandable storage. Now even though this isn't a concrete reason to purchase the Axon 7, it's still a nice addition worth noting. I like the option of having more space on any device I own, especially since every picture I take on a smartphone nowadays are usually above 3 MB in size, not to mention 4K video recordings are much larger. Not only does the Axon 7 include expandable storage up to 256 GB, but it also has an extra SIM card slot as well. Definitely a smart move by ZTE. I'm sure we could all use a little more memory in our devices, or maybe even a secondary SIM card. Switching over to the flaws, and please keep in mind that some of these are a bit nitpicky, so they are undesirable features, but nothing that will make you believe that the Axon 7 is a horrible device. 1. Capacitive buttons. The back and recent keys are bothersome at times, and yes, they are in the right order, but I did get a little mixed up with which button was which, since they both display the same symbol, dots. And what makes it even more annoying is that none of them are backlit, so you'll have trouble tapping on them at night. They're a little too close together and tiny for my fingers. Not a good time. 2. Software. ZTE's Mi Favor 4.0 skin also gave me some issues, and don't get me wrong, there are a couple features that work just fine, but overall, the UI is somewhat buggy and poorly executed. For example, the bell in the lock screen has to be tapped on every time you want to see your notifications. It's driving me crazy at this point. Features such as Mi Pop and My Voice didn't work that well. Do Not Disturb mode is hidden away in the settings, and there's no way of adding or removing specific tiles from the quick settings panel. Still, all of this can theoretically be fixed with a software update, but for now we'll have to deal with it. 3. Fingerprint sensor. Once again, I am being a little nitpicky, but the fingerprint sensor could be better. Even though I am a big fan of front-facing fingerprint sensors, the placement is not the pet peeve, it's the functionality. This fingerprint reader detects my fingers slower than most devices I've used in the past, and it rejects it too often, especially when your fingers are sweaty or greasy. Still, it's not horrible either. When your fingers are dry, it works just fine, but it's definitely not in the same league as the OnePlus 3's fingerprint scanner. 4. Camera in low light scenarios. On paper, the camera is very promising with 20 megapixels, a wide f1.8 aperture lens, face detection, autofocus, optical image stabilization, dual LED flash, and up to 4K video recording. Images do come out great in good lighting, but when it gets dark, the camera starts to take horrible pictures. Colors are soft, over-processed, and images get noisy when you're indoors, let alone outside. Plus it was really tough to shoot a pic at night without the final result being a blurry mess. If you're looking for a smartphone camera that's at least a decent night shooter, you'll have better luck elsewhere. 5. This is definitely me being picky at this point, but I'd still like to point out that adaptable storage is not an option here for those looking to expand their system storage space with an SD card. Personally, I think 64GB is enough, but of course everyone has a different opinion and this could be a make it or break it issue for you. So just keep in mind that any microSD card that you plug into the Axon 7 will be a separate pool of storage space. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to go ham on that like button. Check out AndroidPolice.com for your latest and greatest news on Android. Definitely let me know in the comments what you love and hate about the Axon 7 or even about your own device. We do read all of your comments. And with that, I will catch you guys in the next one.